Hello, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Camille. Welcome to Two Studios Art Channel.
Hit like and subscribe to get our free demos and tutorials right to your inbox.
Happy painting! Hello friends, welcome to Two Studios Art. I'm Camille Mehta, and today we are going to be painting a sunset from a photograph. We will be using the Opus Essential Acrylic Colors. So this is what the container looks like here. And I have here titanium white, cadmium yellow light, Hansa yellow medium, cadmium yellow light, primary red, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, and phthalo blue. And we'll be mixing our colors from these. The brushes that I will be using today are, I have an angled shader. It's a little bit bigger. I have a flat brush, a medium-sized filbert. It's got some paint on it, can't quite see the size, but sort of medium-sized filbert, and a slightly smaller round brush. This one is a number 6. Now, I took this photo of Kit's Pool in Vancouver a few years ago. I was here swimming with my children and my mom one day, and we had such a beautiful day. An evening came, we were all out of the pool at this point, having an after swim snack, and this beautiful sunset appeared. So I took this photo and I've been saving it to paint ever since. So today we're going to paint this sunset using acrylics. Now when I start a painting, and particularly a landscape, I like to kind of squint at it and see where the dark colors are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my filbert, and we're going to start mixing up a little bit of a dark color. I think I'm actually going to mix up a bit of a green here. So I'm going to take a little bit of phthalo. Phthalo is a very bright, vibrant color. Choose this yellow here. Now that's a great green. It's a bit vibrant, so I'm going to tone it down using a little bit of red. And I wash my brush, or at least I rinse it off every time I switch colors, and that's how I don't make my colors muddy. So just get a smidgy bit of this red here, and we're just going to tone down this green. So we actually have a very dark color here. Now I see that there's some trees, some shoreline, the edge of the pool, and the horizon is where the dark colors are. So on my canvas, I'm going to put this part here. It's going to look very dark at first, but we are going to paint over it and it's going to adjust its color as we go along. And I see that coming out at around here, there's what looks like a bit of a dock over here. We have some trees. I'm just blocking these in to get a sense of the shape. And then there's some taller trees, and there's light that comes through them. I'm going to mix up a bit more of this dark color. That's a great dark green. Now, whenever you want to darken up a color or tone it down a little bit, just add in a little bit of its opposite color. So here we're adding in a bit of red to this green, and it's going to just tone that down. And here we have, now this part here is the edge of the pool, and it's going to come out around here. So I'm going to swoop a line from this side to this side. There you go, trying to make that as smooth as we can. And there are some raised, almost like block areas. I can't remember exactly what these structures are on the pool, but I see it in my photo. So I'm just going to put them in as these suggestions of these raised shapes. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move into the slightly less dark areas. Part of this is going to be, I'm going to maybe add a little bit of blue to my green here. These far away hills, I'm going to start them darker. They're going to lighten up a little bit. But this thing here has, going to add some structure to this. And then the hills, they kind of come in here. So that's the base of them, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to this. Oh, you can really see the color of that blue there. Just to lighten it up a little bit. But you can always go lighter, so there's no harm in starting a little bit darker. That is a very beautiful and vibrant green. But we need something a little bit more restrained, so we're going to take a smidgy bit of this red, add it in, and add some white. I'm going to have a little reserve of white over here. Oh, that's like a greeny gray color, isn't it? Beautiful. All right, well, we'll start with this. And we are going to start with adding this hillside here. Now, Vancouver, which is where this picture is taken and where I live, has beautiful mountains and ocean. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to green up this a little bit because there's another mountain behind here. It's a little bit lighter in color over here, and it has a lot of golden light on it. So I'm using this green color to really get the feel of this golden light in here and the shape. It's sort of hiding now behind some of this other stuff, but we don't have the ocean in yet. But we're going to put this in, and I'm going to bring some of this golden light just into the base of this here because light tends to pass around. Also, I'm going to, at this point, just darken the top of this. Often when we see something and it has light peering over it, the top edge is a bit darker, and then the lower edge, the color fades out into it. So all right, and I'm going to bring in, for the fun of it, some of this color into these trees here. It's going to come through. All right, so now we have our basic structure of the painting. We have this shoreline here. We have the edge of the pool. We have a dock that comes out. We have the trees that are in the background here, the lower trees and the taller trees, and we have our mountains. Now, the one thing I don't have in yet is clouds. So I will bring those in now because this sunset in this photograph here, I'll bring it over just to show you again. The clouds look quite dark. And because the sun is low in the sky in a sunset or a sunrise, you have this beautiful effect of extremely dark areas and extremely light areas. So you can see how the trees here look very dark. The clouds themselves are actually quite dark as well. And you have this brilliant light shining through. And that's what we really want to capture. So to do that, we have to make sure we get the other areas dark enough that the light looks brilliant by contrast. I've just got my phone over there so I can see it. So I will take this opportunity now to put in the clouds. I'm going to use my bigger flat brush for this. And these clouds are a purplish kind of a gray color. Now we're not going to try and get them in exactly. We are going to go for an impression of them. And I'm going to use the ultramarine because this is a very purpley blue. Very beautiful. All right, we're going to need to tone it down a little bit though, because it is extremely vibrant. So I will pick up a little bit of my cadmium red light, which is one of my favorite reds. Put a little dot of it over here. and just mix it in. We just got to tone down some of this blue a little bit. Alrighty, now this is even a little bit dark, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white here. Pick up some white and bring it over. This way I don't mess up my white too much. It stays very usable for whatever I need to mix it into. Oh, there we go. That's a great color. This is where we just have some fun. It's pretty dark at the top. There's a light area here. There's a dark area, light area on top. Oh, we're just gonna try and get the shape of these clouds in, show their movement. It's fairly dark at the top. That will allow us to get that brilliant light. The clouds come in here, you get some light areas coming through. There's a bit of a big area there. And there's a bank of clouds over top of these mountains here. Now the sunlight is going to filter through in a beautiful way, but for now we just have to get this shape in. Now we have some ocean over here, and I'm just going to reflect some of these clouds into this ocean. We will be altering this a little bit as we go along, but for now we're going to get that in there. Ooh, it looks moody. I like it. The pool is going to pick up a little bit of this clouds too, but our pool color is a little bit different, so I'm just going to get a kind of a gesture of it in, but it's more going to influence the pool color than be the actual color of the pool. Oh yay, I like that a lot. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add in some of the bright blues from the pool color. To do this, I am going to use the phthalo blue. That phthalo blue feels tropical. When you see it, you just think, oh, I am at a beach. It is very bright. It's a little bit of a show-offy blue. Bring quite a bit of this over. And let's mix it in. Now there, this phthalo blue is really showing its true colors now. Look how pretty that is. I'm thinking we need to add a smidgy bit of yellow just to green it up a little bit and really give it that feel of a pool. So I'm going to get a little tiny, the tiniest hint of yellow and put it in. There we go. Hello, swimming pool. We are going to put it in here. You know you're in a swimming pool when you see this kind of blue. As of course you're in like a tropical ocean, but in Vancouver we don't really have this kind of blue as part of our natural ocean color very often. So this is going to be our swimming pool color. In the photograph there is a strong yellowy reflection, so I'm going to leave some of this area a little bit lighter, just bringing in the pool color on the edge here. And I'm going to pick up some more white and just keep blending that in. In a painting, it's a very good idea to take the colors from one area and put them in the other area. It adds a feeling of harmony. So I'm going to put some of this blue up here. And I'm seeing it in the photo up here too. Even in these clouds a little bit. Anywhere else I'm seeing it? I'm definitely going to put some in here. I can see it. Just going to add it into the ocean. Even though the ocean is probably in real life a lot grayer, the sun coming through is just picking up these colors. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding the yellow, and I'm very excited about this part. I will start with my angled shader. Now we have some absolutely fantastic yellow happening here. Should we start with maybe a warmer yellow in parts? Pick up a good deal of white. And let's start putting this in. I'm seeing the yellow over here. Underneath these clouds, I'm going to fill it in, and then I'm going to start spreading it around. Oh, it's all over here. And I'm seeing some over here. Gosh, I love it. Right in here. We're also seeing some over here. This yellow light is just making its way everywhere. And I'm seeing it. Actually, I've got a lot of white on my brush. I'm just going to put that in here. I'm going to bring it in to give it more of a feeling of the trees. Now I'm going to bring this yellow into the pool. It's looking a bit greeny. That's okay, it's just mixing with the blue, but it's acrylic, so you can do that. Going to bring in a bit more white. And I'm going to bring it a little bit over here too. You kind of get just some reflections of the sunlight, even on this side where it's not as yellow as on the other side. I'm seeing a white, yellowy white haze over here. And even down here. This beautiful diffuse light is just going everywhere. It's a bit too much yellow here, but I'm going to blend this out. Add a bit more white to this. Now, looking at it, I love this beautiful light, but I would like to see it warm up a little bit. And a bit more white here, because this is a very light area. So now we're going to bring in some oranges. Let's see. Now, cadmium red light, which is one of my favorite reds, is a very orangey red. So, but let's mix this in with some things and bring out some of this beautiful golden light. Oh, that's a gorgeous orange. It's a beautiful orange, but it's still a bit too orangey, so we're going to add a little bit more yellow and some white. Just warm that right up. Oh, I love that color. Makes me excited. It does. The color makes me feel so excited. I'm going to bring in some white and let's mix that in. Oh, yay. Look at that peachy color. Oh, that makes me happy. So pretty. Okay, let's make it happen here. Let's get this peachiness. Oh, look at it. It's so beautiful. Hello. Let's warm it up a little bit more. This needs some peach in here. Oh, you're so exciting. And there's a little bit of peach over here. And there's a little bit just over here. And this is a bit peachy. And let's put some of this peach into behind these trees because, oh, that's too white. That's a bit pinky. Let's add a bit more yellow. There you are. Okay, let's get some of this peach color in to these trees here. And there's going to be a little bit of it at the bottom of these clouds because when you have sunset, the bottom of the clouds is where the light hits, and that's where you get the color. Let's put a little bit up here too. Oh, you're so pretty. Let's pinken this up a little bit. Okay, and I think we need some peach in the top of this pool here. Anywhere else? Maybe in here. Okay, now what I'm noticing is that our original dark areas in here are now looking very flat. They have a greeny blue base, so to bring these out and make them feel like they're objects that we recognize, even in an abstracty way, I really think we need to warm these up. Let's try this red. It's a very pinky. Let's add some more of this. Ooh, that's fun. Now when I put this on, it's probably going to seem quite red, but I'm going to go over it again. This is just to bring out the warmth that the light is bringing to everything. So it's going to be very bright at first. We are going to go over it again, but this just needs to be warmed up. Same thing with these. There we go. Now that is very bright and very warm. So let's go over it again with something that is a little bit more toned down. Let's go in with some of our greens. I have my phthalo blue again, and I am going to add in some yellow. All right, so I'm going to grab some, I'm going to actually use a different brush because this one has blue all over it. So I'm going to use a cleaner brush and grab some of this yellow in here, as I had done at the beginning. And we're going to make a green, a fairly dark green. Now this is quite a bright green, but I think when we put it over top of the red, it's just gonna, you're gonna see some of that red poking through. It just tones it down a little bit. I'm also going to go back into our mountain with this. Now that's a beautiful green. Oh, look at that. So pretty, but it's a bit too bright for what we need. So again, I'm going to use my other brush to pick up the paint. I keep wanting to pick up the paint with my dirty brush, but I know I will regret it. Let's pick up this cadmium red light again and work a little bit of it in there. And then, ooh, I'm trying to do it again. I have to keep stopping myself. Take pause, Camille. Don't put your dirty brush into your paint. There we go. Let's add a little bit of this. But it's still not warm enough. Needs some more yellow. Let's pick up a bit more of this. Now we're getting somewhere. Just Just warm that right up. Actually going to bring in a little bit of my ultramarine blue because this is a much warmer blue. And put that in. I'm making the top of this mountain look a little bit darker. I want to do the same for this one. Just bring it in a little bit. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my flat brush and just blend that in a little bit. Oops, I did it again. I think we need to bring in a bit of this warm peachy color, oops, into this area here. That's looking very dark and flat and kind of like a shape. Pink? Not quite right. So I realize here I'm picking up the yellow. Let's try and get a little bit. Not sure, I might just blend this in a little bit with a wet brush, but without paint on it. I really like the way that peach is stood up and it's made it retain its shape, but still just kind of blend in a little bit. There we go. Same thing for these shapes here. There's a path here. And I don't want to lose the dark part, but I want to keep the part where the light is shining off of it. And these trees. Same thing with this area here. There's a bit of a light area that's coming in. I have to keep the light in. Through between these pillars here. And behind this mountain. There's a little bit of a light area as well on top of these blockish parts. I'm going to use yellow for this. We're coming close to the end of our painting here, but we want to make sure that we capture the light because a painting about a sunset is all about the light. Just remember, you have to have the shadows in order to have the light. It's just like life. Trying to get these light bits in. And a little bit of detail where the light comes hitting the water in the swimming pool. Bring this up. I'm using upward strokes to give a feeling of reflection. And lastly, I'm going to do a little bit to the sky here. I really want to bring in the warmth that we're seeing here and just do a little bit to the sky. There's such a beautiful sky, and it was such a beautiful day. This white here is a little bit too strong, so I'm just gonna blend it out a bit, like add a bit more color up here. It's kind of fun, that yellow. I'm adding a bit more white because I think I overdid it. It's beautiful. I think we might be done. So thank you for joining me today. It was so much fun to paint this beautiful sunset from a photograph. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy painting.